So I'm Scott Firestine, and this is day one of the Richmond Public Library's Great American Reads. My book is The Martian by Andy Weir. I love this book because it captures all of those things that I grew up with as a youngster in Indiana. When I was a child in 1969, we landed a man on the moon, and all throughout my youth I got to see Space Lab launched into orbit. I got to see the space shuttle launched into orbit. And so astronauts have always been a crazy, impressive bunch of people to me. They're scientists with the courage to strap themselves to a bomb and launch themselves into orbit to just pursue science and exploration. And so The Martian is a tale of a castaway, similar to Castaways of books that I liked in my youth as well. The Hatchet, about a young man who's trapped in the wilderness. Island of the Blue Dolphins, about a young girl who survives on an island as a castaway. And this botanist who gets trapped on Mars is the same story. He has to use his wits, courage to make it through an amazing adventure and survive. I think in the near future we will be putting people on Mars. We'll travel to the moon like we traveled to Tahiti. So this book is fascinating, and it's a great American read. The Martian by Andy Weir. Log entry, Soul 6, Chapter 1. I'm pretty much f***ed. That's my considered opinion. 6 days into what should be the greatest 2 months of my life, and it's turned into a nightmare. I don't even know who'll read this. I guess someone will find it eventually, maybe 100 years from now. For the record, I didn't die on Soul 6. Certainly the rest of the crew thought I did, and I can't blame them. Maybe there'll be a day of national mourning for me, and my Wikipedia page will say, Mark Watney is the only human being to have died on Mars. And it'll be right, probably, because I'll surely die here. Just not on Soul 6 when everyone thinks I did. Let's see, where do I begin? The Ares program. Mankind reaching out to Mars to send people to another planet for the very first time and expand the horizons of humanity. Blah, blah, blah. The Ares 1 crew did their thing and came back heroes. They got the parades, fame, and love. Ares 2 did the same thing in a different location on Mars. They got a firm handshake and a hot cup of coffee when they got home. Ares 3, well, that was my mission. Okay, not mine per se. Commander Lewis was in charge. I was just one of the crew. Actually, I was the very lowest ranked member of the crew. I would only be in command of the mission if I were the only one remaining. What do you know? I'm in command. I wonder if this log will be recovered before the rest of the crew die of old age. I presume they got back to Earth all right. Guys, if you're reading this, it wasn't your fault. You did what you had to do. In your position, I would have done the same thing. But regulations are clear. In the event a crewman dies on Mars, he stays on Mars. Leaving his body behind reduces weight for the MAV on the trip back. That means more disposable fuel and a larger margin of error for the return thrust. No point in giving that up for sentimentality. So that's the situation. I'm stranded on Mars. I have no way to communicate with Hermes on Earth. Everyone thinks I'm dead. I'm in a hab designed to last 31 days. If the oxygenator breaks, I'll suffocate. If the water reclaimer breaks down, I'll die of thirst. If the hab breaches, I'll just kind of explode. If none of those things happen, I eventually run out of food and starve to death. So yeah, I'm